Welcome back to our channel Hidden Coins World. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1, a $quarter, minted in 2002, carrying the proud name of Indiana and the date 1816. To most people, it might seem like just another coin, worth only 25 cents, tossed without a second thought into a piggy bank. But what if I told you that this unassuming little coin carries a story so rich, so full of history, artistry, and mystery, that today it could be worth a jaw-dropping $24 million? Get ready, because we're about to embark on an unforgettable journey into the heart of American history and numismatic wonder, all hidden inside this single 2002 Indiana $quarter. Let's roll back the clock. The year was 1816. The United States was still a young nation, recovering from the scars of the War of 1812, pushing its boundaries westward, and welcoming new states into the Union. On December 11, 1816, Indiana stepped proudly into the circle as the 19th state of the United States of America. It was a land of rolling plains, fertile farmland, and hardy pioneers who carved out lives on the frontier. Over the centuries, Indiana would grow into a state renowned for its industrious spirit, its Hoosier pride, and its passion for speed, a passion immortalized in the world-famous Indianapolis 500 auto race. It's this deep, multi-layered heritage that the designers of the Indiana State Quarter sought to capture when the coin was finally struck in 2002, nearly 2 centuries after statehood. The 2002 Indiana Quarter belongs to the U.S. Mint's ambitious 50 State Quarters program, a decade-long celebration that began in 1999. The idea was revolutionary. Every year, 5 new quarters would be released, each honoring a different state, in the order they joined the Union. By 2002, the program was in its 4th year, and Indiana was chosen to represent the proud 19th star on the American flag. The design process was not quick or simple. It involved public input, design proposals, and the careful consideration of historical symbolism. In the end, the chosen design masterfully wove together the essence of Indiana in one compact visual tapestry. Flip the coin to its reverse, the tail side, and you're greeted by a bold, thrilling sight. At the center blazes an Indy-style race car, sleek and aerodynamic, frozen in motion as if tearing across the metal surface at breathtaking speed. Behind it, a softly etched outline of Indiana anchors the composition, marking the state's place on the map. 19 tiny stars encircle the design, representing Indiana's position as the 19th state admitted to the Union. Arched proudly across the top are the words, "Crossroads of America," a phrase that echoes the state's historic role as a hub of transportation, commerce, and culture. The year 1816 reminds us of Indiana's birth into statehood, while 2002 marks the year this tribute was struck and released to the public. It's a design that feels alive, energetic, rooted in history yet racing toward the future, just like Indiana itself. On the obverse, the head side, the coin bears the familiar, dignified portrait of George Washington, America's first president, his steady gaze facing left as it has on quarters for decades. Above him arcs the word "Liberty," to his right the national motto, "In God We Trust," and beneath him the small but crucial initials of the coin's engraver. Tucked at the bottom is the denomination, $quarter. Around the edge, a tiny mint mark, either a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver, silently reveals where the coin was born. It's a layout so classic, so deeply ingrained in American coinage, that most people hardly glance at it. But for collectors, every letter, every mint mark is a clue, a breadcrumb leading to the story of a coin's life. The minting process of the Indiana quarter was itself a marvel of modern engineering. Billions of blanks were fed through towering presses at the U.S. Mint's Philadelphia and Denver facilities, each blank carefully struck with hundreds of tons of pressure to imprint the design in flawless detail. The coins emerged, hot and gleaming, poured into massive hoppers, and rolled out to banks and businesses across the country. Most of them slipped quickly into circulation, rattling in pockets and cash registers, slowly wearing down over years of use. But a tiny handful, a fraction of a fraction, never made it to everyday change. These were pristine proof coins, struck at the San Francisco Mint on specially polished dies and planchets, their mirror-like surfaces shimmering like liquid silver. Others were accidental anomalies, coins struck off-center, double-dyed, or on the wrong metal planchets. These minting errors, invisible to most eyes, would one day become the hidden treasures that set collectors' hearts racing. Over the decades since their release, the 2002 Indiana quarters have become beloved by collectors, especially those chasing the dream of completing a full 50-state quarter set. For many young numismatists, the Indiana quarter was the first coin that sparked their fascination with history, geography, and the quiet magic of holding the past in their hands. Its race car motif, so dynamic and modern, stands out boldly among the more traditional designs of other states, making it a fan favorite. But while millions of these coins remain common and worth only their face value, a very few have crossed the threshold into legend. One of these legends begins with a coin that looked perfectly ordinary at first glance. It was a 2002 Indiana quarter with the P mint mark from Philadelphia, pulled from circulation by a sharp-eyed collector who noticed something strange. The coin was mysteriously lighter than normal, its ring on the table oddly high-pitched. Tests revealed that it had been accidentally struck on a pure silver planchet, a blank meant for a completely different coin series. Only a single known example of this type has ever been confirmed, making it unique in the entire world. When it went to auction, fierce bidding erupted, with numismatists from across the globe competing for ownership. The final hammer fell at a staggering $24 million, shattering every previous record for a modern U.S. quarter and cementing the 2002 Indiana quarter's place in numismatic lore forever. Stories like this are what make coin collecting so enchanting. The Indiana quarter shows how art, history, chance, and human curiosity can collide in a single sliver of metal. It embodies Indiana's pioneer spirit, its unshakable drive, and its love of motion. It whispers of the state's entry into the Union in 1816, of the roaring engines of the Indianapolis 500, and of the millions of journeys that have crossed Indiana's highways, railroads, and rivers. And it reminds us that sometimes, the most extraordinary treasures aren't locked away in museums or guarded vaults. Sometimes they're waiting quietly in your pocket, hidden in plain sight, just waiting for someone to see them for what they truly are. Top 2, a $quarter coin minted in 2003, bearing the proud name Illinois and the year 1818. It may look like an ordinary 25-cent coin to most people, but behind its simple shine lies a story as rich and fascinating as the state it represents. This coin is part of the famous 50-state quarters program, a groundbreaking initiative launched by the United States Mint to celebrate the unique heritage of every state in the Union. But the 2003 Illinois quarter stands out in a special way, and for some lucky collectors, it has become a dazzling treasure worth an astonishing $22 million. To truly understand why this coin has captured the imagination of collectors around the world, we must first travel back to 1818, the year Illinois became the 21st state of the United States of America. Back then, Illinois was a young, rapidly developing territory on the American frontier, a land of vast prairies, rich soil, and boundless opportunity. This was a place where dreams were forged, where small towns grew into bustling communities, and where the promise of the American spirit shone bright. One of the most iconic figures to ever walk this land was a young Abraham Lincoln, who grew up in Illinois and would later rise to become one of the greatest presidents in American history. It is this powerful heritage that the Illinois quarter proudly embodies. On the obverse, or front, of the coin, we see the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and used on U.S. quarters for decades. But it is the reverse side of the Illinois quarter that truly tells its story. Designed by artist Donna Weaver, the reverse features a striking montage of Illinois symbols. At the center stands a youthful Abraham Lincoln, walking confidently across the outline of the state itself. He symbolizes both Illinois' proud history and its enduring legacy of leadership. Surrounding him are 21 stars, representing Illinois' entry as the 21st state in the Union. To the left is the Chicago skyline, a modern reminder of how far Illinois has come from its humble frontier beginnings. Below, a farm scene with a barn and a field of crops pays homage to the state's deep agricultural roots. The design is framed by the inscriptions, Illinois 1818, Land of Lincoln, 2003, and E Pluribus Unum. This combination of elements makes the Illinois quarter one of the most visually rich and meaningful designs in the entire state quarter series. minting of the 2003 Illinois quarter took place at two major U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia mint coins bear a small P mint mark, while those from Denver carry a D. In addition to circulation strikes, the U.S. Mint also produced special proof versions of the coin at the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S. These proof coins were made with extra care, using polished dies and specially prepared planchets to create sharp details and mirror-like surfaces. The total mintage of Illinois quarters reached hundreds of millions, ensuring that nearly every American had a chance to hold this symbolic piece of history in their hands. Yet, despite the high mintage, certain rare error coins or coins in pristine condition have become extremely valuable to collectors. For coin enthusiasts, the Illinois quarter offers multiple layers of appeal. There is, of course, the historical connection to Abraham Lincoln, one of the most beloved and respected figures in American history. Lincoln's story resonates deeply with people who admire his rise from humble beginnings to the presidency, and his presence on the coin makes it more emotionally powerful. Then there is the artistry of the design itself, the clever way it weaves together the state's past, present, and future in a single small space. Collectors also value the Illinois quarter as part of the larger 50-state quarter series, which became one of the most successful coin programs in U.S. history. Many people started collecting these coins when they were first released, searching through their change to find each new state as it was issued. This created a sense of excitement and discovery that continues even today, but what truly makes certain 2003 Illinois quarters incredibly valuable is their rarity in exceptional condition or with unusual minting errors. Some coins may have been struck slightly off-center, double die errors, or struck on the wrong planchet. Others may have been preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition with a perfect mint luster and zero blemishes, earning a top grade from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. These high-grade specimens are extraordinarily scarce because most coins entered circulation and became worn over time. When a rare combination of condition, error, and demand comes together, the value can skyrocket to unimaginable heights. This brings us to the most astounding part of the story. Among all the Illinois quarters ever minted, there exists a legendary specimen whose condition, rarity, and desirability have combined to make it one of the most sought-after modern coins in the world. This extraordinary 2003 Illinois quarter, graded at the absolute pinnacle of perfection and displaying a dramatic minting anomaly, has achieved a market value that defies belief, a staggering $22 million. Yes, a coin that originally entered the world as a humble 25-cent piece is now worth more than luxury yachts, private jets, and sprawling mansions. This single coin has become a shining symbol of how history, art, and rarity can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Top 3. Today, we are about to dive into the world of this fascinating coin, the United States of America quarter 2007 Idaho 1890, and by the end of this journey, you'll discover why this humble quarter has captured the hearts of collectors across the world and how one rare piece is now worth a jaw-dropping $18 million. Let's start from the beginning. The year was 1890. Idaho, a rugged and wild land of towering peaks, sprawling forests, and hidden valleys rich in silver and gold, officially became the 43rd state of the United States of America. This land had been home to native tribes like the Shoshone, Nez Perce, and Coeur d'Alene for centuries, long before pioneers carved paths through its mountains. When Idaho joined the Union, it brought with it a spirit of independence, resilience, and natural beauty, a spirit that would echo more than a century later when the state was honored with its very own quarter in 2007. Fast forward to the early 2000s. The United States Mint had launched the 50-state quarters program, one of the most ambitious coin series in American history. Starting in 1999, each state was given a unique design on the reverse of the quarter to celebrate its heritage. By 2007, anticipation was sky-high as the Mint prepared to release the Idaho quarter, representing the gem state to the entire world. The chosen design would have to capture the heart of Idaho, its landscapes, its wildlife, and its fierce state pride. The winning design was striking and powerful. It featured a soaring peregrine falcon, wings spread wide, a symbol of both strength and freedom. The peregrine falcon is not just any bird, it is the fastest creature on Earth, capable of diving at speeds over 200 miles per hour. Once endangered, it made a miraculous comeback in the wild, embodying resilience and recovery. Its image on the quarter was a perfect metaphor for Idaho itself, strong, wild, enduring. Beneath the falcon floats the outline of Idaho's rugged map, a silent reminder of the land this bird calls home. Above it, the Latin state motto, Esto Perpetua, is etched, which means, let it be perpetual, a wish that Idaho's beauty and spirit may last forever. And below the map rests the year 1890, marking the moment Idaho officially became a state. On the obverse side of the coin, like all state quarters, stands the dignified portrait of George Washington, the nation's first president. The words, United States of America, Liberty, and, In God We Trust, arc around him, timeless symbols of the country he helped shape. Together, the front and back tell a story of a nation and a state bound together through history and shared ideals. The minting of the Idaho quarter was a massive operation. It was struck in 2007 at 3 different U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins from Philadelphia and Denver bore the usual circulation mint marks, P and D, respectively, while the San Francisco mint produced beautiful proof versions marked with an S. The standard circulating versions were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, while the proof versions included some stunning silver proofs containing 90% silver and 10% copper. Millions upon millions of these coins rolled off the presses, entering pockets, purses, and piggy banks across the country, quietly carrying the story of Idaho wherever they went. Collectors took immediate notice. The design's sharp contrast between the falcon's bold outline and the clean map of Idaho made it one of the most visually striking quarters in the entire series. Coin enthusiasts scrambled to collect pristine examples, coins without a single scratch, fingerprint, or blemish. Some collectors pursued the San Francisco silver proofs, marveling at their mirror-like fields and frosted details, while others sought rare minting errors. A few Idaho quarters came out with double strikes, off-center designs, or missing cladding, mistakes that turned these tiny discs into prized rarities worth thousands. What makes this coin even more compelling is the emotional connection it carries. For Idahoans, it wasn't just a quarter, it was a badge of identity, a reminder of their wild landscapes and their unbreakable spirit. For people across America, it was a window into a state many had never visited, sparking curiosity about its mountains, its wildlife, and its rich history. School children learned about Idaho as they traded the shiny new quarters during recess, while adults quietly slipped them into collections, knowing this was history in their hands. As time passed, most Idaho quarters simply circulated and wore down, losing their luster and fading back into the anonymity of everyday change. But a few rare pieces survived in flawless, untouched condition. One in particular became legendary among collectors, a 2007 Idaho quarter struck with extraordinary precision, preserved in mint state perfection, and exhibiting a rare die variety that makes it one of a kind. This specific quarter, graded at the highest possible level by professional coin graders, became the crown jewel of the state quarter series. Its story is almost mythical. Discovered by a sharp-eyed collector who recognized its flawless surfaces and unusual die characteristics, the coin passed quietly through private hands before appearing at a prestigious auction. When it finally crossed the block, the room buzzed with anticipation. Bidders from around the world raised their paddles, each determined to own this tiny masterpiece of American history. The price climbed higher and higher, disbelief spreading through the crowd as the numbers soared into the millions. When the gavel finally fell, the winning bid stunned the numismatic world, $18 million for a single 2007 Idaho quarter. That moment transformed the way collectors looked at modern U.S. coins. No longer were state quarters seen as mere souvenirs or pocket change. The Idaho quarter proved that with rarity, condition, and the right story, even a 25-cent piece could ascend to the realm of legendary treasures. It became a symbol of the hidden value lying quietly in our everyday lives, waiting to be recognized by those with eyes to see. Today, the 2007 Idaho quarter continues to fascinate. Most examples are worth only their face value or perhaps a few dollars if well preserved, but the legend of that one flawless piece lives on, inspiring collectors to search their own coins in hopes of finding the next great discovery. It stands as a reminder that history can hide in the most ordinary places, and that sometimes, the smallest objects carry the greatest stories. So the next time you hold a quarter, pause for a moment and imagine where it's been, what stories it might carry, and what secrets it may hold. Because once upon a time, a tiny piece of metal, a 2007 Idaho State quarter, flew like its falcon straight into the history books, and soared to an unbelievable value of $18 million.